Hi all, I'm Lewis Miguel Alexo from BRIKbc Projects. Hope is all well. Just want to share this exciting news that BRIKbc, as I like to shorten to BRIK, we are launching our new journey that basically we're encouraging everyone to get on the journey with us as part of the BRIK family in going forward. So what is BRIK? What is the BRIK? Well, as you can see, we're keeping the theme. We've got the brick wall, the blue brick wall behind you there. Well, BRIK is what we're trying to achieve is actually providing access to residential property and commercial property to people from all walks of life in going forward. So, as we all know, property is getting more expensive each year. Across the world, actually, although we're focusing just on Australia, but if we have a look at some of the statistics and data coming out, property access to property by the everyday person is getting harder and harder, especially the younger generation. So what we are trying to achieve is basically that well, our key vision is making sure that we provide a platform where anybody from around the world can have access to property and be able to build some wealth around property that otherwise they would never have the opportunity to do so. So again, we see that anyone from anywhere, from walks of life, from around the world should have access to property. And I guess what we're trying to achieve is provide a platform for people to be part of the BRIK family, to come on a journey with us. Specifically focusing around Australian property. Now you might be asking, what is the BRIK in terms of how it all works? So basically, we keep it simple. Basically, each property that we bring on board, there'll be a BRIK token attached to each property. So there'll be a BRIK token series for each property. And what we are providing the platforms people to basically buy a token, a BRIK token in that series, to come on a journey with us in relation to that specific property. So again, keeping it very simple, it's basically we sell a BRIK token in that series, and people make up their mind whether they are wanting to get on a journey by buying one or many of those BRIK tokens in that series. Again, our BRIK, by objective, we're keeping all our BRIK tokens under $100 US, so it makes it easy for anybody to be able to buy minimum of one BRIK token. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what the BRIK tokens are all about. Yeah, looking a little bit about me. I'm actually a CPA in Australia, so I've been in public practice as an accountant for over 25 years. So for me, I've been around property, building construction for a long time. So looking after clients who have been and still are in the property game, who are builder developers, just builders, investors who obviously focus around property, and then some of the indirect services also around property as well, in terms of mortgage brokers. So I've been around property for a long time, so I guess you get to know property from all different angles, and you get to understand the cycles, and you get to understand the challenges, and I guess in terms of as a CPA, knowing all the various layers around, not just in terms of the industry itself, but obviously from a compliance perspective, the tax, the corporate environment around it, in terms of structures and what have you. So again, they're all elements that obviously are very important to property. So I guess in terms of the BRIK model, as a part of the team, we have a great understanding around property and what the challenges are, hence why we're here today in terms of starting a new journey with the BRIK platform to provide our knowledge and also get on the journey with the BRIK family community in going forward. So for us, we're very excited. And for me, given my experience, really looking forward to sharing my knowledge with the BRIK family as we embark on this long-term journey. In terms of property, and I guess it comes at the core why we started the BRIK platform. Again, there's a lot of problems within people trying to buy property. So, I mean, some of those things are obvious problems around people trying to buy direct property, whether you're a young person, a young couple starting in life, whether you're at various stages in your life with children, children left home, getting on to the later part of your years again. And obviously also as you go on in your life journey, different challenges challenge you throughout that life cycle in terms of things that are out of your control. So I guess provides different abilities to try to get into property. As we got some parts of the world who are really making some marks in terms of some of the areas that they before couldn't have access to any opportunities. But I think what the cryptocurrency world has provided is basically anyone from around the world can actually get ahead in life, regardless in terms of what their governance systems are. And I think very early stages in terms of what the cryptocurrencies around access to cryptocurrency can have from people from all walks of life. And I guess this is where the BRIK provides a solution in terms of how people are paying for the BRIK tokens, and obviously being in that environment on blockchain. In terms of the BRIK, it provides again, we are part of the crypto industry in terms of how people can actually access the BRIK tokens. But some of those problems, as it's not rocket science. I mean, I think we all know what some of those problems are, but I just sort of go, I mean, it's all on our website. We go through it because we know in terms of there is a high cost to entry in terms of buying a property. So you've got stamp duties, all in various forms across states, across countries. They just label different things in terms of, so that there are taxes to entry. Obviously, the high cost around each property keeps rising each year. I know here in Australia, like if we have a look at Brisbane in particular, you will not get a property for under $400,000 US to be able to get into the property market. So again, it's those high costs that really makes it hard to get in. Some of those other costs in terms of borrowing costs to borrow the funds. So you've got all those additional costs as well. In terms of liquidity, obviously, you can buy a property, you can own it, but if you want to sell it because life chucks different challenges in life, it's not as easy to then try to sell that property. So you either hold a property or sell all property, can't fractionalize that property, which I guess in terms of the BRIK solutions, obviously, where we see a huge advantage in terms of being able to access the property, have liquidity, be able to sell at any time in terms of that fraction of property. It can be time consuming in terms of today you decide to buy a property. The process you got to go through in terms of working out in terms of your borrowing capacity, then in terms of all the formalities in terms of trying to sell that property, the lawyers, the various documentations, and so forth and so forth. So I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about in terms of that purchase time frame is a very long time frame. Also taught transparency. We all love dealing with real estate agents, and we love their transparency when trying to negotiate and buying property or selling a property. Again, not saying all agents are tainted with the same brush, but it's been very challenging. I know personally it's very, very challenging over the years, and then that's the same stories I get from the people who are involved in property. So again, transparency is a big thing. Again, a lot of people around the world, quite a large. You're talking about large section of the population, global population, they've actually never banked before. It's what they call unbanked. So how are those people who've not got no credit profile, how are they supposed to actually buy property? If things start going good, some of them, obviously, some countries don't even have a financial system in place, or a banking system. But the ones that do, even that presents challenges in terms of people that do want to bank but can't bank because of the issues involved in those particular countries. Geographical location in terms of, again, I guess if you decide to buy in a particular area, that's where you buy it. And obviously it's because you're talking about a chunky asset. So again, it provides that, well, if you want to buy in Brisbane, you're in Brisbane, or if you want to buy in Melbourne, in Melbourne, if you buy in New York, you buy in New York. But obviously you're involved in that chunky asset, as opposed to having flexibility of exposure across different properties, not necessarily 100%, but could be a portion, a fraction of properties around the world. So again, geographical location restrictions, what I call. Again, majority of countries at this stage, again, you can only pay in fiat currency, so US dollars, Australian dollars, so all the traditional currencies, because a lot of them don't accept cryptocurrency as part of the framework in terms of how people settle their properties. We have obviously some countries that basically legalized cryptocurrency, like El Salvador, and I think we've seen quite a few more open up from that perspective. But yeah, that continues to be a challenge. Finance capability, again, that's obviously one of the hard areas as a major problem, in terms of, have you got the right level of income to be able to buy property when you're going for the bank or for finance, and trying to see if you can actually get approval to buy that property. So again, income levels is obviously always an issue, and the second part of that, in terms of have you got equity and an existing property, or if you've got other properties, can you come up with at least 20% of the purchase of the property to be able to buy that property? As the banks, most banks, traditional banks, most parts of the world will lend you 80% of the cost of the property. So again, that for a young person or person trying to get into property, that can be a huge barrier. So we've got that on the website in terms of just going some of those problems that we've identified as critical points, critical barriers to entry to buying direct property. Yeah, with the BRIK, our vision is we're not trying to change the world. We are trying to provide a platform that anybody from around the world, from all corners of the world, whatever situation, has got the ability to buy this one BRIK. So very simple. We're providing a platform for all people from all walks of life around the world to own real estate property. That's pretty much in a nutshell in terms of what our mission is. And we see our role as part of our vision in order to achieve that, is to be able to educate people in terms of what property is doing, what are the issues around property, and may provide a platform that they can have access to property in Australia. So again, our vision is to, anyone can own at least one BRIK in real estate property in Australia. So that's where we see as our vision. in going forward with our BRIK. Again, we hold our, as I said, in getting on the journey as a BRIK family, there's some things we hold close to our chest and very critical in terms of what we're trying to achieve. And again, some of our values that we've highlighted in terms of makes who we are in terms of our DNA. Obviously, trust is a critical element in terms of our values. Again, we're getting on a journey together. It's important that there's a high level of trust there in going forward. Loyalty. Again, we see loyalty playing a critical part because we're here for the long term. So we're just not here today and gone tomorrow. So as a community, it's making sure that there's a loyalty that we basically can help people in terms of getting on a journey together and making sure there's loyalty to each other and the things we're trying to achieve. Third one is transparency. Just make sure that there's always transparency of all the things we do. Again, if we're on a journey together, it's important that there's transparency around the BRIK. Again, as I mentioned before, in terms of our mission and our vision, we're about knowledge sharing. So again, given our team's experience over many years, especially around property, our role is to continue to share our knowledge and bring in people in different spaces, in the crypto space and so forth, that they also are able to share their knowledge on the journey ahead with the BRIK family. Again, we're empathetic. Again, we all start somewhere, some of us at different stages. But in terms of, if we look around the world and some of the challenges around the world and some of the countries that are coming up, and given the challenges that have had over many years, and we feel very pathetic in terms of making sure that we're also able to provide the opportunity for those people that otherwise they never thought they might have had the ability to have access to what first world countries have. So again, we see our role in being empathetic to those people and making sure that we help them on their journey. As I said, I will share my story in a separate video in terms of my journey where I'm today, and given my very, very basic roots where I came from to the journey that I've been and my family and where we are today. So again, hopefully they'll provide some inspiration to some people who are on who starting their journey and can take at least one little gold nugget from it in terms of their journey. Finally, we're always about collaborate. So for me, for us to keep going forward as a BRIK family community, it's important that we'll collaborate with different people in different spaces who can help our journey and can add value in terms of what we're trying to achieve. They'll benefit the BRIK family in going forward. So collaboration is critical in terms of wanting to get ahead in life. And for the BRIK family, it's the same thing. We're trying to achieve certain things in going forward, and it's important to collaborate with some of the people who are trustful and that we can build relationships for the long term. So that's just a bit in terms of the property, what our mission and vision and our values are, and hopefully that sort of falls in line with everybody who gets on the BRIK family journey. The BRIK token model, what is it? Again, it's not rocket science. We keep it very basic. So basically, as each property that we introduce they'll have a BRIK token series. We like to have each series named after an Australian native animal. So we're looking for our first property to be called BRIK Koala. So that'll be our first BRIK token series. So basically, the modern, I guess, in terms of what keeps it also with a really big point of difference is that basically we buy the property, everybody gets to be involved in that property. We sell a token. Well, there will be a series of tokens that we sell in relation to that property. That property we kept very long term, so we're keeping all properties that we bring to the BRIK model. Those properties that we kept indefinitely long term, and what we do each month with the rent, so the net rent that comes out of each property after expenses, we invest that into cryptocurrency. So we have a special purpose vehicle, a company, Australian private company, that buys the property, and obviously those shares are tokenized. So each share will have its respective token matched up against it, and basically has the rights around that particular share. So each token, each BRIK token, will have from that series will be matched up against a share in a special purpose vehicle. That special purpose vehicle also buys the cryptocurrency token, cryptocurrency coins, tokens each month with the net rent. So basically, we have then two assets in that special purpose vehicle that makes part of that portfolio, so of that special purpose vehicle. So we have a real estate property there, and we've got the accumulating cryptocurrency that gets accumulated and also held there indefinitely. So again, we just stick to 5 major cryptocurrencies each month, not stable coins. Again, we want to have some growth in them. We want to have, in terms of your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, and 3 others that we see as they will provide growth in going forward within that portfolio. So again, it's a matter of having a quality product on a blue chip location that will grow over the years, in particular in Southeast Queensland, because we've identified a lot of growth ahead, given obviously we've got a great environment in terms of from a property perspective, real estate property perspective in Southeast Queensland in Australia. We see as a great platform to basically see that asset grow, and obviously behind that is the cryptocurrency that keeps basically accumulating and also growing each month as the journey goes on. So basically, that property is held, maintained, and held indefinitely. So and basically how people can actually at any time be able to sell that token in the secondary market. So unlike owning a direct property where basically it's illiquid, we're providing liquidity that basically says that you buy the token, the initial token from us, the BRIKbc series token, in relation to that property, and at any time along the journey, you can basically sell that token on the secondary market. 1 token, 2 tokens, however many tokens you hold, you can sell as many or keep as many as you want of those BRIK tokens in that series. So, for example, our first property, BRIK Koala, we're going to have 40,000 tokens. We are going to be making available a certain number of those tokens for sale, and the special purpose vehicle. Basically, the tokens will be issued, and we're going to make them available for sale. So you can choose to buy that token from us. Once we actually have sold all the tokens, all the highlighted tokens for sale, then we actually settle on the property for that particular series. So again, we're keeping it very simple. Basically, we're making tokens, BRIK tokens available for sale. People buy them. Once we sell all those tokens, then we sell on the property. We get on the journey. We maintain the property, invest the net rent in cryptocurrencies, and then basically let those assets are held long term in a special purpose vehicle, and then at any time you've got the ability to sell out of those tokens. Obviously, the market value of those tokens will always be tied back to the property value and the cryptocurrency in that special purpose vehicle. So again, 40,000 is going to be the total for that particular property, the BRIK Koala series. So again, just gives you a bit of an understanding in terms of how our BRIK token model is going to work. So yeah, keeping it very simple. Okay, in terms of looking short-term, long-term as well, in terms of what is our plan, in terms of the number of properties and so forth. So again, probably more in terms of the long-term plan. For our long-term plan is to keep finding those ideal properties in blue chip locations that we can either add value to that property right from the start by tweaking, might be some renos that need to be done and so forth. Just basic tweaks that we see can add value to maximize the return on that property. And secondly, where we see some major returns is actually also do some new builds in the residential space. And again, we've identified some areas where we see as some great high cash flow returns that we basically can bring to the BRIK platform for us to get on a journey with those particular properties. So again, it'll be a blend. Long term, it'll be a blend of established homes with some tweaks in terms of renos, and also secondly, some new builds where we see a great high growth high cash return and good growth. In the short term, but basically our plan is to bring over the next 18 months, bring 12 properties, residential properties, to the platform. Our first one is going to be in Brisbane, and as I mentioned, it's called the Koala. So that one there, it'll be $2.6 million US, $2.6 million US, made up of 40,000 tokens. So that one there, we'll put a certain number of tokens up for sale around that property, which will be on the website once we announce the launch and make that available. So that'll be the first one, the BRIK Koala series. So again, just a quality residential property in a blue chip location that we see will have a lot of growth in going forward. And the others that we've also are in the pipeline, there'll be one on the Gold Coast. There'll be a new build. That one there has got a high cash flow returns. So that one there's planned out, and so there'll be a blend of those two types of properties that we're bringing on board over the next 18 months. So our immediate target is 12 properties over the next 18 months. And look, if it all goes well, we might bring some more, but again, they'll be up to the BRIK community in terms of the demand that people have in terms of what we're doing. So if there's a higher demand than what we actually forecast out, then our pipeline, given our networks, won't be too hard to find those blue chip properties that we can bring to the platform. Our first property that we're bringing onto the platform is what we're calling the BRIK Koala series. So that one there it's a Brisbane blue chip property. The cost is $2.6 million US. But that one there's an established property that needs a few tweaks that we've actually included in our costings of $2.6 million US. And basically there's 40 tokens, 40,000 tokens there in relation to that property, and we're making 33,000. We're selling 33,000 tokens of at $80 US each. So each token will be $80 US. You can buy one, you can buy many, can buy lots of. So it's up to you in terms of what you want to buy in terms of that series. So that property, we're launching this the property in mid to late October. Still got to finalise the date on that at the moment. Just a couple of things we're working through. So we're not too far away. So that one there is it's the BRIK Koala series to be launched late October, which is only just next month, and it basically will provide access to people who want to buy our tokens in that particular property series. So again, we see that property basically in terms of, again, this is not financial advice, and based on the forecastings in terms of what properties have done in that area over the last 20, 30 years. And obviously history always provides a great guide in terms of to forecast. Obviously, having an accounting background, I have an appreciation for economics in terms of macroeconomics forecastings and looking back and what things have done and given variables in play in going forward, and trying to project that in terms of what the economy will do and what certain areas will do and some industries will do. It's always gets great pleasure to see some of the things going ahead. Again, we're not what should we say, wish doctors that basically try to predict things and things end up exactly as that. So again, we can only use data, trends and events that are happening. But based on this property here, if we look at the events that have happened in Brisbane and Queensland and Australia and what the impacts have, and look at other areas in terms of major events and what impact has leading up to those events. So obviously, we're coming out of a COVID. We're going into an economic recovery, and obviously, I think Southeast Queensland in particular, we're in pretty good shape in terms of where we are today, and obviously the lifestyle that we have here and the migration we're getting here from other states, and they'll lead to migration from some Australians that are basically coming home, which we've seen that already, and it continues to do so once international borders open. And then basically got other people who see Australia and Queensland as a great place for a lifestyle and so forth to settle their family and migrate to Australia. And then overlay of that, over in 2032, we've got the Olympics in Brisbane here, which will obviously have exposure to both the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast as well. So in looking at this particular property, it's, as I said, it's at $2.6 million US over the next 5 years, in terms of where we see that property being valued at. We see that the property value in 5 years' time, be around the $4.5 million US. And then basically, sort of 10 years outlook on that property there, we see that property being around sort of $9.1 million in US in value. So again, using historical data, using future forecasting and the events that are happening in Southeast Queensland particularly, this is how we see this property. So we see that property going from 2.6 today as a cost for $2.6 million US to around $9.1 million US in 10 years' time. On top of that, you've got the cryptocurrency. So again, we got some thoughts around in terms of what cryptocurrencies. I think we're just very, very early stages in terms of where cryptocurrency sits and playing a major role in the economy. I think people who are actually in the cryptocurrency, involved in cryptocurrency, which I am, very bullish in terms of how they'll play out over the next 5-10 years in terms of as governments start to accept it more as being a means of currencies, as we see some countries are already adopting such a position. So again, on the website, we have some forecasting around in terms of what might be from a cryptocurrency. So as we say, as each month with the net rent that gets invested into cryptocurrency, just 5 major cryptocurrencies, and basically accumulating that in the portfolio for that special purpose vehicle that owns that property. So, so again, your token, your BRIK Koala series token, is always, the value of that's always going to be tied to the property and the cryptocurrency at that given time. So again, it's an area that we feel very excited about, where I think it provides a bit of a point of difference, where we see by investing that rent in cryptocurrencies, it provides a double benefit in terms of the growth around those two assets that's in that special purpose vehicle in going forward. So again, very exciting. Again, we keep it very simple. Buy the property, sell the property after we've sold all tokens, maintain the property, grow the portfolio of cryptocurrency, and basically keep it indefinitely long term in that special purpose vehicle. So, and anytime you can sell out your token in a secondary market. So again, we see it as a great journey, and all the other properties that we bring will be the same model as the BRIK Koala series. So yeah, very exciting, and looking forward to launching that mid to late October. Keep an eye on our website and the social medias as to when we announce that date of the launch for the BRIK Koala. And one of the things we see as important is creating this BRIK family community. As I said, we're here for a long journey. So for us, it's so critical to have this BRIK family community that basically we can share information with each other, get on the journey together, and we all benefit in terms of long-term journey and long-term journey ahead. So what in the various platforms, we'll have them as an engagement areas, and we'll make those announcements in terms of those platforms that we'll be putting out there to have that BRIK family engagement. Probably one of the things that about the BRIK that, you know, why buy a BRIK, and again, as a BRIK family, and getting on a journey together and sharing that message in terms of why people should buy a BRIK. Well, I think one of the important things, well, there's a few important things, but one of them is basically, you know, you only have to buy one BRIK. So there's no, you know, again, our BRIKs, all our BRIK tokens will be under $100 US. So just depending on the series in terms of the project. So, but and again, with our minimum, you can buy one BRIK from us if that's all you want to buy. So and they'll be under $100 US. Again, we're focusing on those properties on blue chip locations. But obviously that we identified from our research and seeking out those properties, which basically they'll be sourced from our network. So giving our network of people around Brisbane, Gold Coast, and the Sunshine Coast in particular, provides us a great source of people who are at the coal front for us to get hold of those properties. That a lot of them don't even make the market, and again, because of our relationships we've got for many years that are in those spaces. And again, I think why buy a BRIK? I mean, the thing is, like, there is a secondary market for our BRIK tokens. So if you want to sell, there's going to be a secondary market where other people can buy your BRIKs from you. And I think that's a critical part of the BRIK model. One of the things that that we have, that I think is also critical, is that when you're buying our BRIKs, you are buying with cryptocurrency. So you can use Ethereum, you can use Bitcoin. So we'll have various options in terms of what cryptos you can use. We can use a stable coin within those cryptos. So again, once our platform is lodged for the BRIK tokens for you to buy, there'll be different options in there around that. But we've got a few other bit more content on our website in terms of outlining, why buy a BRIK. But that's just sort of touch on some of the critical pieces there of why you should buy a BRIK. So again, as we said, if we all getting on the journey together, it's important that if you think somebody else will benefit, to bring them in as part of our BRIK family, then then please share in terms of your experience, and that they might benefit from the same experience as you, and we all as we get on the journey together. Again, it's not financial advice. It's just basically where we see in terms of our BRIK tokens and playing a major part in going forward to have access to those properties we bring to the BRIK platform. One of the things I always see very important is to give something back, where we all benefit from a particular area in life, whether it be from employment, from business, from things that we do well and get rewarded. I see the BRIK playing an important role to give something back as well. And what we are thinking of is, again, there's a lot of homeless people out there, and as obviously, as I mentioned before, having access is becoming harder and harder to property, which means that also brings some of the rents of properties to continue to increase, which becomes harder and harder for families that are struggling to be able to pay their rents. And we're seeing people that huge numbers increasing in where they're becoming homeless, and that's whether they've been through issues in life and they've fallen down through mental illness, where they're basically living off the street and are homeless, or whether that's been through situations in life where they can't afford to pay the rent, and they've had to go homeless and live on the streets. What we like to do is, and again, this as a BRIK family community, I'll put it out there. What we're trying to align is actually align with a charity that has that theme, that's helping people that are homeless, who are assisting them to live day to day and be able to help people who are living off the street, who are homeless. Again, what we're going to do, a little project that we're going to do as a BRIK family, that I'll put it out there to the BRIK family. And what I like to do by the end of December, by end of December 2021, is for us to all to make a decision as a BRIK family as to what charity that's global focused, not just Australia focused, not just Brisbane focused, but it's global focused, that we can provide something towards those charities, where as a community we build some funds and we're able to donate. Again, I'll make it open, I'll leave it open to the BRIK family community as to what methods and what charities we all highlight and list, and we narrow it down to maybe one or two that play a critical role in help people that are homeless, who are struggling in life, but just need that little bit of help. And I think given the property space that we are focusing on in terms of the BRIK, I think it falls in line nicely in terms of trying to help people who are in a less fortunate situation in their lives, whatever reasons, and so we can get behind those particular charities that are helping those people in that situation. So again, I'll leave that to the BRIK family community, and I'll send out some posts as we go forward next few weeks and get input from the BRIK family community as to what everybody thinks. Okay, I'll close this video. I think I've covered sort of briefs around each area in terms of what the BRIK is. Hopefully, you've got some good insights in terms of what we're trying to achieve and build a BRIK community going forward, and everybody get on the journey and benefit from that journey together. again, keep an eye out for the dates, launch dates for the BRIK Koala series coming up late October. But in the meantime, there'll be some constant videos. I'll go deeper in some of these areas that I've touched today in this video. And please share with your friends, share with your family, share with your contacts if you think that they'll get the benefit in going forward in being part of the BRIK family. So keep a watch for the social medias. We'll be on YouTube, we'll be on Twitter as sort of the first starting platforms, then TikTok and a few other platforms as well. But YouTube and Twitter will certainly be the first focus areas where we're communicating with the BRIK family community, and look forward to engaging with you all. Take care, and we'll see you soon.